All right, we are hot and ticking and rolling and all that good stuff.
Heckin' yes.
Shall we?
We shall.
Hello, everyone. It is Shiftless. Boy, howdy. Are we going to have a weather report from Bradford today?
It is wet.
And windy.
Yes.
And who knows what's coming.
You know, it's only taken me like 100 plus episodes, but I'm starting to really enjoy our intro song.
Okay.
It's really growing on me.
After 100, what is this, 103, I think?
Something like
that. Do you want me to change the music?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was being, what's the opposite of facetious? I was being legit.
You were being sincere.
I was being sincere.
There's a first time for everything.
We are at Casa Wills. What do we call it here?
I believe the
Casa de Biscuit.
we can call it that.
Yeah.
I like Rancho Wills.
Rancho Wills.
Mm-hmm.
And
We are joined by the great DJ Caleb.
nope, wrong one. Oh no. What in the world? There it is. Yeah, my buttons aren't labeled and I don't use it enough.
I'm gone a couple of weeks and I come back and
It's more than a couple of weeks.
absolute chaos.
Well, the whole plan was to rehearse the keypad before we got going, but
Yeah, that didn't happen, did it?
we're lucky to have microphones set up in some form or fashion.
Hey, I need your Wi-Fi password so I can
Oh, do you?
surf porn while we're doing this.
Okay. I'll send it.
Everybody listen closely. We're not going to edit this out.
The password is 1,
The password is Pennant.
2, 3.
Are you being serious? Am I
No.
supposed to be typing this in?
No, I'm going to send it to you. Hold on.
This makes for fantastic radio.
Well, if we wouldn't have been scrambling trying to hook our microphone to everything that didn't work, we would have been recording like 30 minutes earlier.
What time? Yeah, what time? Never
It's
never
10.
mind.
It's
Never
10
mind.
o'clock.
It's 10:04. We're all right.
We're all right. Good thing we got weather keeping us from getting anything else done today. So tell us about the weather that's out there at the moment, Bradford, and what's going to be happening for the foreseeable future.
They're calling for over an inch of rain. There is a big cell that's sitting. We're basically just on the south side of it, on the very southern edge of this cell.
But it's basically going to wipe out all of North Texas for several days worth of.
Trails are going to be closed for certain.
Yeah,
It's not going to be bueno.
I might be premature here. I don't think I will be. We'll make this a tentative announcement at the moment. But the likely scenario for this weekend's Hell of the North Texas out of Paris, Texas, will be those roads will be underwater. So we will be shifting to the net once again, which we did last year and was quite enjoyable riding.
Oh, I might ride that. When is that?
Saturday.
What time?
Well, officially starts at 9. What's your?
I have a crawfish boil I'm going to on Saturday.
Okay. What time?
3-ish in Grapevine.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
It's on your way home from Paris.
Yeah.
The other option is roll up there Sunday morning, and
Oui, Paris.
I may,
Sunday morning. You said the ride's on Saturday.
the ride's on Saturday, but I'm going to be staying through, and I might ride Friday, Saturday, and Sunday up there myself, potentially. Potentially. We'll see how it goes. I mean, if we're just riding the net, I'm only putting up 2 arrows the whole way, so
That's true.
Quicker setup for you, right?
turn around here.
Yeah.
Is it going to be similar to what we did last time?
I don't know. Did you do it last year?
I did the one where we took out of Farmersville.
This would be out of Paris. So no, so it would be a bunch of new stuff in that case if you haven't
Okay.
been up there.
Yeah, because we rode roads and gravel and stuff, and then came.
Oh,
back
you're
from
talking about
that.
the Shadezilla ride last
That's
year.
what it was. That's what it was.
I'm looking forward to Shadezilla 2025 myself. That will happen again.
That worked out really well.
Definitely a fan of that one.
Yeah.
Now this one's the net out of Paris. I'm getting so much echo, but the AI will clean it up.
How far is that from? What's the trail there in Paris?
The net.
Bingsley.
Oh.
Starts with a B.
That's not Paris.
Is it not
That's
Paris?
That's Sherman.
Oh, but isn't there a pump track in Paris?
There is a pump track in Paris.
Okay, how far is?
That's right where we're staging is the pump track.
Oh, well, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, bring your BMX bike.
I will. I'll bring my jump park bike.
There we go.
Bring the bike that does backflips.
Yeah.
And we will hook the 360 camera right up to your ass.
Funny story. About
Cameras and asses.
35 years ago, it wasn't 35 years ago, but it feels this long. I was at Sun and Ski in Lake Grapevine, or at Grapevine Mills Mall, and I was there talking to Nate Goodell and Flying Brian Smith, and a guy walked in.
That was not 35 years ago.
No, it was
Okay, but I'm
36
listening.
or 7 maybe.
I'm listening.
Anyway, a guy came in, and clearly this guy had been chemically enhanced with illegal chemicals. And he went on and on about making sure that they showed him every backflip bike.
Oh,
He walked
really?
in and said, I need a backflip bike. And they're like, what? Are you talking? I need a backflip bike. You need a bike that does backflips? Yeah, I need a backflip bike. And so they were showing him different bikes. He goes, this bike does a backflip? And I don't know if you know Nate. He's a very,
Yeah, I know.
very
I do.
soft,
I do know
very
Nate.
gentle personality. And he was trying so hard to explain to
So
this guy
the
that
polar opposite of Brian.
Yes, that is correct. So anyway, now that's my favorite thing to go in sometimes to Villa Republic, and
So
first thing
I'm
I'll say
sorry,
is I need a
just
backflip bike.
Clarify things for me. When you say obviously chemically enhanced, are you talking?
No,
Or are you talking?
yeah, he
All right.
was
He was flying.
absolutely
man.
snooted on something.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the gentle kind either. I think it was the class 1, class A.
I don't know.
Yeah,
The stuff
I
that
don't have
rots your
class.
teeth.
he was on the stuff that rhymes with Beth.
Yeah, the teeth rotter stuff.
Yeah, teeth.
Beth,
Teeth
I'm
rottery.
coming home.
That's nowhere near the way the song goes. but-
Yeah, I know. This is the best I could do.
Oh, if you want someone to fuck up a song,
I'm your guy.
ask Brad to sing it for you.
I am your guy.
He's fantastic at remixes because nothing he sings sounds like the original.
I can carry yeah.
A tuna can.
I can carry a tune.
A tuna can.
It is still raining for the record. I'll
pretty-
just keep you guys updated.
Pretty sure it's gonna rain all day.
My rain barrel's full.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
good.
So it's gonna get fuller.
You
It
should
just
get a,
spill it. My rain barrel spilleth over.
do you have to treat that at all, like to keep mosquitoes from
Yeah,
growing
they
in it?
make these little things called mosquito dunks. They
Yeah.
look like little donuts.
Uh-huh.
And you break them into pieces and
And it
put 'em-
doesn't affect you watering plants with it?
That's
No.
what it's for. Well, I
Okay.
mean, they keep it in the gardening section, so I'm going to assume that it's safe.
I was just
I
curious.
haven't grown a third leg yet, so
You could also just like hook an aerator up to it.
yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We had a full discussion about anaerobic and aerobic last night at the Roy Williams was giving me the whole anaerobic versus aerobic, talking about filtration and aquarium.
That guy knows a lot of things.
Dude,
He's a smart guy. I think he's been around.
he's a wealth of information.
Yeah, he is.
Between him and Justin Helpenstill,
Yeah.
it's like, Jesus.
It's like going to your own master class.
Yeah, it's like I need some ADHD medication so I can pay attention, and also can I just record this conversation and have chat?
Well,
GPT
as
break
someone
it down
who is
for me?
on ADHD medication, I can tell you that I can't keep up sometimes.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's going to be your
It's-
savior on that.
It's pretty fun
Brad's
conversation.
just looking for another excuse.
You seen this?
I have not.
This is the new Revelate, and I had to pull it up so I could pronounce it correctly, and I will give you the etymology of the word. This is the Tarsier.
Tarsier? Tarsier?
Tarsier. It's either Tarsier or Tarsier, depending on where you're from. And a Tarsier is a monkey that has long fingers and powerful leaping ability. And I think the reason why they used that name for this thing is because it holds everything very tightly. So, what is it? It is a new bottle cage / anything cage design from Revelate. It's lighter than those gigantic Blackburn or anything cages, but it's a lot smaller. And when I got it in, I was showing it to Brad. I was like, I don't know if I can use this. It's tiny. It's got the little removable faceplate at the bottom
Yeah, that's what that is.
to hold things.
That's a little foot.
That's
Yeah.
something like that. Where
Yeah.
does it go?
It screws in the bottom, but the nut
there it
is
is.
on my desk. I forgot to include the nut, but there's a nut that slides in that back.
Now I get it.
So that
I had
holds-
it upside down.
That would hold like a bottle, or like Brad's case, he uses the white fuel for his stove.
Yeah.
So I was
I've
worried.
I figured you'd handled Caleb's toy.
yeah.
Was worried that things weren't going to. I was just worried because it's so small. Like it's about the size of a checkbook, right?
Yeah.
It's about the size of a bottle cage.
Nobody knows what a checkbook
But it's
is.
flat. So anyway, look it up. But the cool thing is it's got these rubber
Yeah.
bumpers that you can move around. And Brad said, just test it and see if you liked it. So I used it to carry my stool up to, my sitting stool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need
A
to.
chair.
I personally carry my own stool myself
Until you don't.
until I don't. My camp stool, and it held it perfectly all the way up to Munster, the Red River Riot route, and then
And where did you have that mounted?
this was mounted to my fork.
Okay, so you use that as a smaller fork mount than an anything cage, basically.
My concern,
In your case, that time.
right? And I took the foot off at the bottom. I was worried that things were going to slide up and down, and it wasn't going to be any useful. Matter of fact, it's very useful. And these rubber bumpers here, these gaskets, prevent anything from sliding around. So this is fantastic. When I first got it, I was like, oh, this is useless. I'm going to give it away, and now I love
You
it.
know me, I'm a devil's advocate type. So aside from just using wall-off straps around the fork and strapping it directly to the fork, what's the advantage of this over?
It's got a sturdy backing, and it keeps something from wrapping around your fork and going into your wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it mounts here with the regular bottle mounts
Right.
against your fork or underneath your frame.
Right.
And it's just a smaller profile than those giant anything
It's
cages.
just a smaller profile anything cage.
Yeah.
At what premium to a bigger profile anything cage?
What's the retail on it? Like 42?
59.
59.
Well, I had a little bit of freelance money to
That seems a little
spend.
That
It was
seems a little spendy for what that is.
You're right, but
But it's
you know,
exactly what I expected it to
Yeah.
be.
I'm giving it.
What's an anything cage these days? 35.
That I don't know.
Yeah, could
I have two of them. I was thinking about getting one of those, but that's a little. Maybe
Don't get me wrong. I like the design. I like the thing.
Yeah.
Let me show you a picture. Like the problem with those anything cages is if you want to carry something smaller, it just swallows it up. Like I used to put
Not
my
really.
Well, I did. My camp stool is only about the diameter of a baseball when it's.
Yeah, but
That's when you wrap it in a bag of weed.
No, you just
Well,
change
that's
your
true.
configuration for your straps because you can route those straps to that anything cage multiple ways.
No. What I'm saying is that anything cage that I have, that Blackburn, it's so big. It's just a waste of space and,
I was talking
a
about-
waste of weight because it weighs almost
It's-
twice as much
it's-
as
yeah.
this.
Yeah. All right. Weight weaniness
Oh,
is
here we
what
go.
Well-
that's what it really is, though.
So I was going.
Not that that's a bad thing,
No,
but this
I
is
was going more Dylan Johnson minded on this because when I put my anything cage, now when I say anything cage, I'm talking about the Revelate one, the plastic composite body one, that's probably twice as large as that and has a huge footer.
No, the anything is salsa. Actually, let me look it up.
yeah. Salsa makes the anything cage.
Yeah, then I'm
But there-
all messed up.
There are numerous anything cage sized options out
Yeah.
there these days.
But-
and this is a third of the size of one of those, maybe.
Yeah.
But my concern, like I was saying, is when I put mine on, as soon as I'm not using it, I'm like, this is just a gigantic airfoil. I'm going to take it off. With that, I think I would leave that on. You know, I wouldn't be as concerned about taking it off. Plus, I love how it has the slotted holes.
Yeah,
So you don't have to take your bolts completely out of your
No.
freaking fork to mount it.
it's why hasn't people done this? This is what's on the back of a $5 Walmart
Yeah.
picture frame,
Yeah.
right? These little slots that you would hang on the wall or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like, what have we been doing?
Yeah. And you can move these bumpers around, which is cool.
Yeah.
So if you have an even narrower bottle.
Okay, I
you can
changed my mind. I'll buy one.
Get him a shot of whiskey real quick.
All right. Moving on. Anyway, I liked it. I didn't like it at first, and then I used it, and then surprisingly, it's cool.
Episode 103-ish, brought to you by Revelate.
Revelate.
Revelate. Speaking of Revelate, I need some. I actually remembered yesterday before I left for TNSS to move my bags from my Chumba to my Karate Monkey.
Okay.
And it just solidified the fact that I need 2 more bags in my life. So I don't have to move my stuff when I want to grab another bike.
Every bike should just have every bag, is my opinion.
I've not run into that issue prior, but you are correct.
Over time, it's like, I need that bag on this bike, is what ultimately always happens on my end.
Yeah.
So.
I need to at least have somewhere where I can carry my phone.
Sure.
Because I don't do jersey pockets and stuff.
Correct.
And then I need just tiny little saddlebag that I can carry like 2 or 3 CO2s and what are those, Ride Now tubes?
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it because I have my tools in my handlebars. So I'll be on the lookout for something like that.
Understood.
I really love the bag that's on my bike, but it was a one-off. So I don't know.
I forgot to bring it and show it to you guys, but I also bought the Stoat, which is their new it's smaller than the, not tariffs.
It's a mini bike packing saddlebag.
Yes, it is, and it's good for.
The Shrew is the one you're thinking.
It's a little smaller than the Shrew, but it also it almost has an anti-sway. Not that the Shrew swayed, but it did move a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got these new like padded bumpers and reinforced here, so it sticks a little better to your seat. Anyway, it holds like it'll hold plenty.
You think I could put a tube and maybe 3 CO2s?
Yeah, you could do that, and you could probably do
might
quite
be
a bit
able
more.
to. Yeah. Maybe 8
Or
tubes
you can
and
strap
20
it to
CO2s.
you can strap it to your frame too. So it's like an in between.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I had it on my Cutthroat for a while. I like it. I don't. What else? What else with bikes? Bike prices. Are we seeing bike prices go up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
We are.
I think what we're going to start experiencing is not only are prices going to go up, but you're going to start having a lot more shortages like we experienced during COVID because people are just either halting or slowing production. From what I'm seeing, I watched a couple of videos so our guy from Basepacking.com, I can't ever remember his name.
I can never remember his name.
But he did
The Ned Flanders of bike packing.
Yeah, he did.
Put glasses on him, and he'd be
numerous videos at Sea Otter, but the one I just watched day before last, I guess it was tariffs and how they're going to affect cycling. And he asked all of these different vendors, and it was a unanimous yes, it's going to affect numerous of our product lines. And then there were even ones that were, we manufacture everything in the United States, but this is still going to affect us. So it was kind of eye-opening to see the anticipation of how tariffs were going to impact the cycling industry.
Well, I mean, did you see the news on Oveja Negra?
Yeah, they laid off like 7 or 8 people or something.
Laid off 7 and turned their 2 other full-time employees into contract employees. And they source everything in the United States.
Oh, really?
Who is that?
They
They're
are
a
the best
bag maker.
bike packing bag maker in the world.
They're really
And
good.
say their name again.
Oveja Negra out of Trinidad, Colorado. Salida, Colorado, excuse me.
I don't guess I know them.
Oh, their stuff is fantastic.
Yeah, they make really good looking
How
stuff.
do you spell it?
Oveja.
Hold up. I got to find a tab that I'm not using. Oveja
space
Negra.
Negra.
I seen it.
Yeah, their stuff is fantastic.
Huh. Do they have a seat bag?
They
Look at that.
have everything.
Yeah.
Oh, they just have big bags.
Black Sheep.
Black sheep.
I had to look it up.
But
Oveja's Negra's Black Sheep.
Oh.
the So, and they do source everything in the United States, and they are a USA production company.
But do they cater a lot to the European market? Is that
Some, but not.
that was what I understood? Is,
That's part of the equation. But what the real nuts and the bolts of it is, like we've talked about the past few weeks, is with all of this tariff stuff that's up in the air and nobody knows what it really means. People just aren't ordering anything right now.
yeah,
Because you can order $50,000 worth of parts for bikes that, well, is this $50,000 or is this $250,000?
Yeah.
And you're not going to know until it arrives. So people just aren't ordering stuff because they need to know what it's going to cost them. And that's not just bike stuff. That's everything. That's why they're saying we're about 2 or 3 weeks away from Target and Walmart shelves going empty on a bunch of stuff.
I was watching a bunch of fear mongering videos about that today.
I don't think it's fear
I don't
monger.
think it's. I think the truth lies somewhere in between,
Yeah,
which that's scary enough.
yeah.
I'm not saying they're not going to have anything in their stores.
So should we go buy toilet paper?
Well, that stuff's going to happen. People are going to freak out over individual items, and which
Yeah.
is going to ultimately, then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy for certain things.
Yeah,
But I mean, there's just stuff that we're not even thinking about. I'm not saying this is what it is, but maybe all of a sudden you can't get 9-volt batteries anywhere, sort of thing.
my vibrator doesn't run on 9-volt batteries anymore. I upgraded to rechargeable.
You've upgraded to rechargeable.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't be able to get USB-C cables anywhere anymore. It's just going to be oddball stuff that's all of a sudden going to be not available.
Can you imagine a world where you didn't open a drawer and there was 37 USB-C cables?
There's already screenshots I'm seeing on Threads and X of people in various manufacturing and retailing sectors where they have screenshotted their invoice.
Mm-hmm.
And it has tariffs.
And the tariff,
And
the
you know,
tariffs are
you
on
have to
there.
take some of it with a grain of salt because a lot of them are trying to be anonymous. Like one of them said, I work for a major toy retailer. I don't know what that means. Here is an invoice of a recent order, and the
Kids still play with toys?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
I mean,
it's like a $780 invoice for, for product.
UPS just yesterday announced laying off 20,000 people.
Holy shit!
20,000?
I think that's what I saw.
Jeez.
Maybe it's 2,000. Maybe I got a bunch. And because Amazon's business has already dwindled so much,
Yeah.
and a lot of UPS's trucks were going out just basically full of Amazon stuff, and that's not happening now.
So on this invoice, it was $780 something for the actual product that they ordered,
Sure.
and there's the shipping cost was on there, and then it showed the tariff adjustment or whatever the line item was. It was $6,000. So again, grain of salt, but I'm seeing
Yeah, UPS cuts 20,000 jobs, closes facilities.
Wow.
So we don't know what this is going to look like. It's just, again,
Is it going to be like a shockwave kind of thing where everything happens all at once and then it recovers? Or
no.
is it
It's-
going to be
it's
more
gonna-
of a COVID kind of thing where things go away and they never come back?
It's gonna be a water torture type thing. I was gonna say Chinese water torture type thing, but that would seem politically incorrect. But a water torture type thing where it just slowly drips and this gets worse and worse and worse, and there'll be some boiling frog scenario where
yeah.
people get used to it,
Yep.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then people will come across stuff. It's like, oh, wait a minute, this is something I buy twice a year, and now I can't get these air conditioning filters. Or where do I go from an air conditioning? There is no air conditioning, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then when it turns around, the turnaround could start 2 weeks down the road, but it's not going to be an instantaneous turnaround. It's
Yeah.
going to, realistically, however long it took to get to that state, double that for it to come back to whatever the new normal is.
Well, I saw one product specifically that I'm recalling now. Silco was set to release their
Their pump,
They said they're not going to release it to the
United
U.S.
States.
market.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, I will throw in my 2 cents worth on that one. That Silca pump looks suspiciously similar to the Cycle Plus pump.
They're all coming out of the same factory. They just have a
With
different
just
logo on it.
it's got this Silca full metal housing on it,
Yeah.
which is sexy as hell. I don't dispute
Yeah.
that. Maybe the internals are different, but there's a lot that's awfully darn similar.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll leave it at that.
it goes on.
I'm a fan of the Silca stuff, but Josh is a hell of a marketer. I will give him that.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a marketer.
So this says that Kent
I just read that. I was going to bring that up.
halts Chinese imports. Tariffs could force production suspension.
Yeah. And they account for, what did it say? It's the largest mass supplier of bike frames in the United States. So this is
Yeah.
kids and commuter, which is, we sometimes
Isn't
tend,
Kent,
we tend to overlook that there's a much bigger market than what we are, you know?
It's not all titanium bike packing bikes.
Oh, titanium is forever.
titanium?
Titanium.
And that's
Did your guys' shorts just get tighter when we all said titanium together?
Sure do.
mine doesn't work like that anymore. I'm getting old.
I'll send you this link.
Whoa.
It's got a 15% off coupon.
Will you send it to me too?
Bluetooth.com.
I mean, the downside, there's all sorts of downside to it, but
Are we still talking about your pants?
yeah. The big problem, well, okay, we're still talking about my pants. Well, it's a little problem. But the real deal is everybody, even if announcements are made that this isn't the case anymore, nobody's going to believe shit. Is because, well, that's what they say today, but then what are they going to say next week? And it's scary how long of a holding pattern people are companies are gonna have to be on stuff.
That was me.
Was it? Okay.
Putting this towel over here.
Brad never makes noises.
I won't touch it.
No, we're not talking about me. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a mess. At the moment, I'm glad I've got all the bicycles I do have.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm so glad that currently I don't live in an N+1 situation.
I think I've got enough to get by for most anything.
And when the power grid goes down, what are you going to do with your e-bike? That's the question.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be out here pedaling, and you guys are gonna.
I got all sorts of solar panels
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
and solar generators.
You're going to have a generator just for your e-bike?
Hey, priorities.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've got pedal bikes, believe it or not.
That wasn't directed at you. That was directed at all of the
All of the e-bike riders
Yeah.
that might be out there.
I just read where was that? Austria. Now their e-bike sales account for 57% of all sales in Austria.
So
Oh shit!
what?
Yeah, e-bikes now 57% of bike sales in Austria.
Look, I didn't know they launched it. Shimano Trailborne. Now I can talk about it.
Very cool.
Beyond product creation, it's important for big bike and component brands to understand that unlike road cycling, mountain biking depends on access to well-maintained trails. That insight has sparked decades of support for trail advocacy and building efforts across the globe by all types of individuals and organizations. Now, Shimano is deepening its commitment with the launch of the Trailborne Fund. Trailborne is an initiative to build more mountain bike trails globally. It's a fund, and Shimano awards and releases the funds based on projects that are presented via proposal. They place a priority on new hero community trails and old trails that need help, where they might be able to be rebuilt and relaunch them back into the community. Right now, Shimano has set aside $10 million for this fund, and we think it's a great example set for other large bike industries to follow. That's on Basepacking.com, and I've been working on that for 2 years, and it's nice to be able to talk about it now.
Yeah.
Yay, more trails. Yep. So we worked on that.
Good job, sir.
And I'm super pumped.
Very cool.
Yeah. It looks like they launched it at
Sea Otter.
Yeah.
Everything's launched
Yeah,
at
that's true.
Sea Otter.
Yeah.
I may go next year, possibly.
I got a really close friend that lives 3 miles from the racetrack, and he's always said, "Just come stay with me." And I tend to forget to book travel by the time it's around. I need to
Let's
go.
plan on that.
Yeah.
Let's plan on that.
Yeah.
And I did get some clarification. Speaking of Sea Otter, I did get some clarification. I can't remember where I saw it, but the gravel route was almost exactly the same as last year's mountain bike route, with just the most technical
Pieces removed.
sections removed. So it was basically the same stuff.
Okay.
Can't remember where I got that clarification from.
It's still raining.
It's not
It's
going to
not
stop.
gonna stop.
Has anyone seen how our local hero Lauren Stevens has been kicking ass?
I saw this ride she did the other day. It was like 65 miles or something. And she did it in like 3 hours. And I was like, that's impressive. And then I looked at the elevation. It was like 5,400 feet of elevation. And so I saw her average was like 21.2. And I struggled to wrap my brain around how you do that much elevation.
Was that Levi's Grand Fondo, or was that Tour of the Gila? Do you remember which one that was?
No clue.
Because I haven't seen the footage from Tour of the Gila.
I follow her on Strava, so I was just looking through Strava and I was like, holy crap.
I mean, that Levi's Grand Fondo that she won, she basically did that solo breakaway.
She's a beast.
Pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Did you order your state mountain bike yet, Kevin? Before the tariffs?
No, no, the tariffs were already in it. That's why that was part of the reason I didn't pull the trigger on it. And I have at this point opted to still not pull. Make no mistake, I am very, very curious on the bike, but
Yeah.
I've decided to shift my focus to making the El Jefe a true mountain bike rig as opposed to a bike packing rig.
I support that.
So I putting a shorter stem on it, and I was going to try to put a titanium post on it as well, and haven't been able to source a titanium post
I know a guy.
for it. So
Brad knows a guy.
Oh, I know a guy.
I opted to try the Red Shift suspension post.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to give that a shot.
Okay.
See what it's like, and then wait for the tariff stuff to ease up. And
I can't recommend the Bingham ones enough. They were formerly Ericsson.
so that I was trying to remember. I was trying to remember what the name was.
Yeah. And dare I say, I loved them when they were Ericsson, and I don't know when the transition happened because it's still the same design as far as the post goes, but the mount now, how it mounts to, you mount your seat to it, the mechanism has changed, and it's far better than it was, which I didn't think they could improve on it. And now you get your saddled to where you want, and you tighten down the interior.
Well, look it up. I couldn't remember the name, so I didn't find that one. Look them up. Tell me what their current stock status is and their current price for the Bingham 31.6 seat post.
Bingham built bikes. Man, I love their stuff. And here's the cool thing. I think you already know this, but I just want to say it again. Our buddy Lambo does all their custom engraving,
Yes,
and so
he's made some really cool stuff for them.
So he's now engraved. I have 2 posts. I mean, I have 5 of their posts. Only one is Bingham, but they're all Ericsson by nature. And I had him engrave my Fargo, the one that's on my Fargo, and the one that's now on my Chumba. I think that makes it so much more special. Let me see.
Yeah, back in the day, Lambo. Actually, I think we might have got him started on his commercial engraving business by doing the Spinistry flasks. He started those.
That's so cool. You need a straight post or a layback?
I was thinking I would need a layback with the shorter stem. Nico's saying that I'll still want the straight post.
Okay. So, you said 30.9?
31.6.
Oh, they don't have a 31.6. You have to run a shim.
So they have a 30.9 with a shim.
They have a 30.9. I think that's what I'm running on
The
the
Chumba.
Shumba. Yeah. Pick a color. What color you want?
Just black.
Black. Oh, they don't have black. Oh, midnight. They have midnight.
Okay. Just give me a price
I'm looking.
and availability.
Bead blast. 325,
Okay.
but out of stock.
And out of stock.
And
That's the problem I've been running into in all the titanium stuff.
titanium.
I think it's a tariff byproduct at the moment, but I'm not positive of
Yeah,
that.
that was another thing that was covered in that video that I was talking about. They were talking about just materials, because you have to have materials to build stuff. Even if you're manufacturing in the United States, all of your materials aren't necessarily sourced in the United States. And titanium was one of the ones that they specifically referred to. This makes me so sad.
Yeah. It could change overnight. It could.
Let's see what ChatGPT says about titanium.
So anybody have any bicycle adventures upcoming? Anybody here ride bikes actually?
I do. I ride bikes. I have to tell you, Kevin, I was going to ride that route you sent me. First of all, thank you for sending me that route, like lickety split. I was like, I was blown away.
The Sunday route?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I opted. So, quick little story. I opted not to ride on Sunday because it was windy as shit.
Okay. It was windy as shit, and I rode in that stuff.
Yeah. And then Monday, when I was leaving, I was also not going to ride because it was windy as shit. And Shannon happened to send me a text, and he goes, "You want to have some coffee?" Because him and I have coffee almost every morning. It's hit or miss lately, but and so I got on the phone with him because I was just loading up my truck. And by the time I got through telling him I wasn't going to ride and that I was kind of upset because the gravel out there was great and, it was so remote and there was nice climbing and great views, I had talked myself into riding. And so I went and rode on Monday. And that route, I'm not exaggerating when I say I think it was prettier than the route that we rode.
It should have been.
Yeah, because there was some beautiful views. And my legs felt good. So the wind wasn't, it was a factor, but it wasn't as big of a factor as it was if I was just dog-ass tired.
Sure.
So
Well,
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm glad you liked it. To bring things somewhat full circle on that, basically, most of the best parts of that route, what I'm assuming you thought were the best parts of that route,
Over Die Mound. Yeah.
that's exactly where Shannon and I did our first scouting for the first Red River. We started from there. That's where the inspiration for
Makes perfect sense.
our first gravelness was Shannon and I scouring those roads on our bicycles.
Where did we ride? I feel like this was before before Spinistry existed, when we met at the Cracker Barrel up there, kind of by Greenville.
We were well into Spinistry mode then.
You were? Okay.
I think we were scouting when we made Holiday Ramble its own thing.
That was 15 years ago.
Yeah, Holiday Ramble came out 2011.
Okay.
2010, 2011.
Yeah.
First one was 2010. We did a really, really informal one.
Yeah.
It was Yuri and Lorinda and Chaos and
Yeah.
maybe Shannon.
I remember that though. And you were riding Panniers back then.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm trying to figure out how to work this shit. You had to stop like every 20 miles or 15
Well,
miles.
I mean, that was before bike packing bags were
I
around.
fully remember I was on a mountain bike.
And
I think.
you were on your Soulcraft, I think.
I can't even remember now.
Yeah, I didn't get any footage of that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably winter or early spring 2000, winter 2010 or early spring 2011, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I was probably getting ready for Dirty Kanza, is my guess, but I could be wrong.
Oh, then that would have been like 11,
10, 11.
10, 11, yeah.
So
Yeah, because your last year to go was 2011.
11
right?
was the only time I went.
Oh, okay.
That's the only time I went.
Okay. Because I went 11 and 12. Okay.
So
Brad and I were talking about this last night, Kevin, and I think I might have texted you about it, but I can't remember. But did you see that there is now a Central Texas showdown and about to be a West Texas showdown?
yeah, he's been talking about that for a while.
Has he? Okay, I hadn't been paying attention, but he released the Central Texas showdown route.
West Texas Showdown route.
No, West Texas isn't released yet. I'm looking at the Central one right now.
Oh, well, he's done the Central one a couple years now.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Where have I been?
I don't know. He's been doing it out of Lano.
Yeah. 500 miles, 24,000 feet of climbing.
But a lot of it is paved.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's all of our old hill country Hyundai routes.
Yeah, I saw that some of it goes
the
to,
north
like,
part of
Castile
it
and all that.
was.
Yeah.
But that's all paved now. But I think when you go further, so the short route, I can't remember what they have. What, a 250 and a 500? I don't know. The shorter route people are going to be mostly paved. The longer route people, as they go
Okay.
further south, will
Okay.
get a lot more unpaved.
Any idea where the West Texas is going to be? Do you know?
Terlingua,
Is it really?
yeah.
No shit. Where else could it be?
Well, I mean, you could do Alpine, you could do Marathon, you could do Sanderson.
But how do you do that? The problem with Terlingua is just like how do you get water? That's like you had, you know, these big bike packing routes, they have resupply. That's part, like you're on your own to resupply, but you can't just put people on the fucking moon, right? So
Evidently you can. I mean, that's the way, so there's that, what is it? The Transamerica Trail that people are running now. That, I mean, that's how I started looking at my going to California route, which is now the Tuba Trail. Originally, the Transamerica Trail it's an enduro motorcycle trail, but I looked at that. It's like, oh, well, we could probably do bicycles on most of it. And I started looking at that originally around 2017 or so. And there's just too many gaps for bicycles where there's just absolutely no resupply. I mean, there were long gaps for motorcycles. There were 300-mile gaps that, got to carry a gas can with me to be able to make it on a motorcycle sort of thing, carry all my water and everything. If there's one 300-mile gap on a bicycle, that's one thing. Okay, I can prepare for 1 3.
You
But
can't make a 300
I don't think that's possible, especially-
on a
It's-
bicycle.
it's done. I
Has
mean,
it
you're
really?
going to have to filter water.
Yeah.
right, but this is Southwest Texas. There's no
But
water
that's what
sources.
Well, there's cisterns and stuff.
not that you can depend on.
Yeah.
And that's why. So that's what I'm saying. When I looked at the TAT, it's like that's not practical. But other people, promoters or whatever, are latching onto the TAT and saying that that's their version of a cross country gravel ride. But it's not. Was that hail?
Might have been.
But so I opted to not do that. I started scouting the going to California route, and we're pretty good to Arizona with that, and where we're hitting.
Is that it?
I,
Is that hail?
I don't know. I can't tell.
it is.
I think it is.
Shit.
Well, you're in the garage. You're
Yeah.
gold.
No, I'm saying shit for y'all's cars.
Yeah. I mean, living in Texas is part of the deal.
My truck just turned 150K yesterday.
Yeah. Mine turned 13,000 miles yesterday. So, well, I beat up Caleb's brand new truck, so you can beat up my brand new truck, right? But
I guess I don't get that joke.
what was that? That was Can't Do Kansas. Where we had that crazy storm in Sanger.
That was Can't Do Cans. That was the last one you did
yeah.
before you got sick.
We had a crazy storm blow through there. It flooded the interstate at Sanger.
They couldn't get out. It was at the ball fields.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get out of the ball field area because the driveway into it, there's a bar ditch. It was flooded. They were stuck there, and you lost laptops and timing tables. And
Lost all
blew
of our,
everything down.
Yeah, we lost everything.
Yeah.
We lost
I ended
everything.
I was in what town was I in?
We rode right by there when we went to John
Yeah,
Brown.
yeah.
I don't
we
remember
did.
where I was, but I was on the second half of the loop, almost to the northernmost part.
Was that when it got so hot?
No, that's when I had to hide out in a barn with cows. I jumped someone's fence with my bike and went into their working farm. There was no homestead there, but there was a barn. Hung out with cows for about, I don't know, an hour.
Yeah, we had tennis ball sized hail at the staging area, so that wiped out all of our equipment.
Jeez.
Caleb's truck was parked there,
Yeah.
brand new truck.
Yeah.
And well, everybody that was out on the long route
Yeah.
got caught in it. People that did the 100-miler had just gotten in and out, but some of them got stuck because the storm that blew through literally just flooded the interstate and nobody could go anywhere.
Jeez.
And it was just, there was no tornado. It was just the hail core, right?
Well, there was a threat of tornado for sure.
There was a threat, but there was no,
we were under a warning.
Yeah.
I got out of that barn and rode about 7 miles because I can't remember the name of that town, but I knew it was very close. So I rode about 7 miles headed towards that town. And I thought, I'll get there. Because the gravel roads were flooding. There were washout ruts. I mean, it was not a good place. And plus, I didn't know what was going to
happen. Was it Montague? Was it that far?
No,
It wasn't that far west.
It wasn't quite that. Anyway, as I'm heading into that town, I see a cyclist coming towards me, and it's Rich. And he says, Kevin's on his way. He's going to meet us halfway on this road. I'm like, okay, cool.
Was his heart rate through the roof,
rode,
like 101?
We rode like 18 miles until we finally, we thought it was only going to be a couple of miles, but he couldn't get out of where he was. So we just kept riding, and it was so funny. I'd never heard these two fight and argue like a married couple because
they are a married couple.
Because Kevin was trying to explain to him that I couldn't get here sooner because it was flooded. Rich was mad because this was 20 miles. You told me I was going to have to ride like 4 or 5 miles, and I'm just sitting in the back of the car. Go, can we just go? Can you guys just shut up and we go?
I don't remember.
Oh,
that
it's funny, man. You guys were at each other. It was a bad day for both sides of the ride.
I was in his car, I think, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. You were in his white Subaru.
I'm not sure why that was, but
because probably you couldn't get yours out.
Maybe I can't remember exactly. No, because he had the bike rack. That's why.
Oh yeah, sure.
And yeah, it was one of those things that we knew weather was coming, so I was out on the road, on the route, checking on people on the short route, people seeing who was where, and making sure that I was sweeping them. It was like I was willing to pick people up that might still be on the course. And the short route was 100 miles, if I remember correctly. Those people were almost all done at that point. There were like a couple that had the last mile to go, and they're like, no, I'm going to finish this damn thing. It's like, all right. And as they're finishing, I'm ahead of them, and I pull into the ball field, and the hail starts coming down.
Did you have cyclists trapped in that hail?
They hunkered down under a tree.
Jeez.
And
I had to do that at Red River Riot one year.
And Foster had the timing set up, and the wind had blown through, crazy sideways wind, and blown all the tents into the back of the trailer. And what he had done was he had tried to throw all the equipment in the trailer, but the wind was blowing so hard that he couldn't close the doors on the trailer. So he's outside in this tennis ball hail, just holding the doors of the tent shut. Friggin' tennis ball size hail, pinging him on the shoulders and the head and everything. He said, get in the damn restroom. There's a cinder block restroom there.
He was in it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He was ready to help.
No, actually, I think I opened the door and said, get in the truck. That's what I think that was the deal. But man, he was full-blown support crew that day. It's like, appreciate the effort, Dave, but that's a bit much.
I think there was only maybe 3 riders that were able to get past that line of storms because it was a small line.
Yeah.
And it basically, like Rich and I were on the south end as it moved from west to east. And there was a small group of maybe 3 or 4 guys that were above the line that actually made it all the way around. So they never even got hit. They were north of it as it moved, and then by the time they started turning south, it had already passed.
Wow.
Anyway, do you remember that we went out and found them? I don't remember who it was.
I can't. Yeah, we found some. Hey, weather's always a factor.
Mm-hmm.
It does come into play on a
It is.
on a
It
pretty
does.
regular basis.
Like today.
And I want to look and see where Paris is. Is Paris getting in? Paris is not quite getting slammed yet, but there's no. Yeah, it's made it to Honey Grove now,
It's still raining.
and it's still raining here.
Now they're calling for almost 2.5 inches of rain today.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and make the call. If I get this uploaded today or Thursday, we're recording this Wednesday morning-ish. If you're planning to join us in Paris this weekend, we're on, but we will be riding the net. We will be riding the Northeast Texas Trail.
How will you structure that? Will that be a yo-yo? You're going to go one end and back, or point to point, or what?
We ended up doing it last year that way for basically the same reasons.
Is this going to be an Otenbeck?
It will be an out and back.
Okay.
Which works out well that way because then you have plenty of resupply.
Mm-hmm.
You go through several towns. Last year, the way we had it set up for if you went all the way to Clarksville and then back, and then to Roxton and then back, that was like 95 miles. I think it goes to Anona now, the trail from between Clarksville and Anona. But I'm not positive of that, so that's what I'm going to check on when I go up.
I'm down if you're down, Caleb.
When is that?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Not going to be good for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I got Emily and the baby
I
are
just
coming
said
in.
I'm down if you're down.
I'm not
That's all I
down.
said.
I'd love to be down, but I'm not
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
I do have a question for you. So let's talk about the rat and the new comeback route, the looping route.
The rat loops.
So, couple of questions,
Yes, sir.
and I'll try to make them as articulate as possible because I'm really good at being articulate.
God, get
How
your
long have
editing
you-
hat ready?
No one is as humble as I am. I'm the most humble person I know.
I'm less competitive than you are.
Yeah. How long have you been working on those spots? Were they some of the original rat sections that you've moved around? And then what are the possibilities of those new sections being a part of the route this year? Or will you ever consider, I'm excited because it's new areas to ride or new roads to ride that are, at some point it doesn't look like it's within 15 or 20 miles from each other, the
Shit,
route.
15 minutes to go preem.
Bear with me a moment. I'm going to pause and get
Okay.
this.
All right.
Hey, Becky. We're rolling again. We're back. All right.
And hold on. And we're back.
And we're back. And we're back.
We're back.
Happy
Okay.
little accidents. Somewhat coincidental. We were just talking about the rat and the next phase of the rat that I'm calling the rat loops,
Yep.
and got a call from a person that was very instrumental in all that coming together. We'll talk about Becky and Lamar Chamber of Commerce another time. So your questions were,
Yeah. So how long, where did it come from? Have you always wanted to make make it a loop? And how long did it take you? And will we be able to be on any of those sections for the proper point-to-point race?
okay. So let's kind of cover this one bite at a time. So what Caleb's asking about, for those that aren't familiar, I just announced yesterday, maybe the day before, that we've put together a series of essentially 100-ish mile loops along the rat route. It utilizes from east to west the proper rat route, but then it, at about every 50 miles roughly, it doubles back to the starting point down a different network of roads. And the vast majority of those roads, and if this doesn't answer your questions, then let me know. The vast majority of those roads are either roads that we've previously used on different versions of the rat. Mm-hmm. It took us about 5 years to nail down the final rat for various reasons. And or that roads that we're already familiar with that we use for different events and that are along that rat corridor. So basically we have a series of 18 loops. And the idea is that people that aren't able to take a week and do the full rat, if they want to go out a weekend at a time and do sections of the rat, they've got a full loop that they can do. I can do 200 miles of the rat on this trip, loop back. It's a 400-mile trip, but I didn't have to ride the same roads out and back.
Yeah.
So it's a full loop. Hypothetically, theoretically, that could turn into a 2,000-mile rat loop with very little overlap. So it's a stacked loop system like mountain bike trails is basically what it is.
Yeah, it's like a extended. It's like a daisy chain.
Exactly. That's the concept behind it. At the moment, I don't have any plans to make the loop an event per se. What I want to do is at the moment, these are mapped routes, the loop parts. The parts that are the actual rat are the rat. Those are solid. The loop back parts are hypothetical that I'm pretty confident in, but I know that there are going to be issues. So the plan is to put together Club Spinistry rides and get a dedicated, hardy group together that's willing to take chances and can self-navigate and adjust on the fly if needed.
Take chances.
I know you do. Everything about you's a risk. Has anyone ever told you that?
Risque.
Risque.
It's French.
And
I'm what they refer to as high risk.
Go out and do some adventures.
Will we get to see, like, are there any new sections of this that you may go out and are interested in that may replace the proper Texarkana to Tucumcari route?
I mean, hypothetically, it could happen if we come across something that, oh, this is cool. I had no idea it was here. It's really neat.
Okay.
It could turn into a main feature on the rat. I think the realistic scenario is if I come across something like that, it just reinforces the case for a full loop.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
But it's also a placeholder for reroutes as well, right? Like if you had a forest fire or road closure.
Hypothetically, sure, it could work that way. Right now, we kind of already have an alternate route. It's what we call La Ruta Suave. Mm-hmm. So for each of the rat segments, we have a paved segment alternate.
That makes sense. Okay.
For foul weather or flooding or roads closed or whatever else.
Yeah.
Now, the caveat to that is if somebody rides the La Ruta Suave, they accomplished 1,000 miles of paved riding across Texas. Fantastic. You're not going to get logged as a rat finisher on that.
Son of a bitch.
To get that finish, you have to do the rat route itself. If you just want to knock out miles and get from Texarkana to Tucumcari and you don't want to sit out a day because of bad weather, hit a paved segment. You won't get an official time. If you want the official time, wait it out or walk through the mud is kind of the idea. It really hasn't come into play so far. Most of the people that ran into weather conditions that, give them a 0 day or whatever, if they're going for a time, they all pull the plug at that point. It's like, I can't make my time now.
No.
Which that's always frustrated me. It's like, okay, so you didn't get your record that you were shooting for. Go ahead and ride as far as you can. Take a day off.
Finish it. Yeah.
But not everybody thinks that way. So did that answer all of your questions?
Yeah. It's really cool because I want to explore more of those routes that get out, west of Munster. Like, everything after Munster is where the magic happens, kind of. That's where it starts.
Understood. I found some cool stuff. Or actually, Paris is going to be, we'll go to Paris and we'll do a long weekend there, starting from Paris and doing the loops both east and west of Paris. We'll try those out. We'll probably, St. Joe has some fantastic loops out of it. There's a really neat one that the Glen Rio San Juan, that starts from a dispensary So right there at the Texas state line. Were you aware of that? They put in this really cool dispensary on the New Mexico side, right there where the ghost town at Glen Rio was.
Yeah.
There's a really cool dispensary.
Can we just start there?
that's where that loop starts. From the dispensary, it starts and ends there.
Man.
So
I just remember how cold it was that day when I went through.
weather is always a factor.
Man.
Well, and that's another thing. These Club Ministry loop tests of the rat loops, those are probably generally going to be pop-up-ish rides sort of thing where, oh, hey, we don't have anything going on this weekend as a formal event. Weather looks good out here. Hey, we're going to Childress and we're going to do a loop. Who wants to join us? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the concept behind it. Are we going to get 500 people showing up for that? Of course not. If we get 5, that's a hell of a group to have a good time with.
Yeah. Even if one of them is rich.
But I know the rat routes well enough and most of that whole corridor well enough that I'm confident we can put those loops together this year and make them final and official and everything like that and test out that concept for what would ultimately be a full 2,000-mile loop. And that makes it a spine also for the Tuba Trail. So ultimately, I want to do that for the Tuba Trail as well, but also I have it mapped out for Tasha as well.
Yeah. Man, there's so many things I want to ride.
And so my plan is for myself to use the Tasha loops for me to ride Tasha.
Hey, could you stop? We're recording a podcast here.
Sorry.
What's wrong with you?
There's stuff in the air.
I'm allergic to cuteness.
Look at that little cute girl laying on the ground. Biscuit. Hey. Yeah, Tasha Trail too, man. God, I want to ride it. I want to ride all the things.
Well, and everybody does. And I realized how many people can take 6, 8, 10 days at a time to do these. No, but can you take 3 or 4 long weekends over the course of a year and knock out big chunks of it and have a hell of an adventure? Yes. Yeah. Which reminds me,
I'm just going to cash in all my investments and live while I'm young.
Ish. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of money to live off of a bicycle in a hammock, you know? So
my tent should be shipping pretty soon.
Ooh.
I'm freaking stoked.
So,
which one did you end up getting again?
The Durston X Dome +1.
What does +1 mean?
1+. I'm sorry. Here.
Wait a minute. And where is that shipping from?
Ooh, I've already prepaid.
I understand. It doesn't mean it's coming, though. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Motherfucker, don't.
Okay, I was asking a simple question.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. This is the one that's got the cool, weird offset.
Yes.
It's like a wedge-shaped
Vestibule.
Body.
Yeah.
No, the actual body itself, Kevin, is
that's
shaped like
right.
a wedge.
That's right, yeah.
And then the offset is the
he
vestibule area.
He explained that to
That's
me.
pretty smart.
Stoked on it.
What are the dimensions on it?
It's got a full. I sent you the link.
I'm looking at it. So it's 88 long with it's 85 interior. And one end is 27 inches and one end is 50. So it's a wedge, but then you've got that 22-inch vegetable.
Yeah.
Like carrots and broccoli.
It's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got that wide
You can't say things like that. That's not nice.
You can't. Well, it's got that cross beam that goes horizontal that gives you more shoulder room.
Yes.
Because I find it difficult to sit up in my.
I've watched numerous videos on this, and they actually just released a new tent. Where is it?
I'm looking for the specs. How much does this thing wet? It wets complete is 34.7 ounces.
Yeah, they have a new one that just came out that I think it's the X Dome 2. Yeah. And it's not that heavy either. Something completely unrelated to bikes that I wanted to put on both of your guys' radar.
No, that's not allowed. We only talk about bicycles on this show.
Brad, that tent's kind of heavy.
Edit it out. No, it's not.
That tent's 2.25 pounds.
Yeah?
Isn't it? I think my Nemo is almost a pound less. Let me look.
It's not.
It's not? Am I wrong?
Not with poles.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Chef's table. just came out with
Saw that.
a new season, and I watched the first episode last night.
I don't know what Chef's Table is.
It's one of the best. That and Inside a Chef's Mind are probably two of my favorite shows that I get excited about. Like, just the intro music excites me because I know how good the show is going to be.
Okay.
It's Pavlovian at this point. But the first episode was all about Jamie Oliver and his rise and fall. And not really fall, but kind of his disappearing into
Diminishing.
obscurity. And it is so good.
So where is this?
Netflix.
Next, I don't do the Netflix, so
Well,
You're not a Netflixer?
I
You
am
don't
not.
Netflix and chill?
I am not a Netflix and chill guy.
It's called Masters or something series or Legends or something, right? It's Chef's Table Legends.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going over
It's
more.
highlighting individual chefs instead of like culinary styles or restaurants or regional cuisine or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, severe weather alert.
That's Alexa telling us it's going to start raining soon.
Flash flood. It's still raining.
It's still raining, and Paris is getting hammered right now with all of everything we've had so far heading that way.
We're getting hammered.
Right.
My tomato plants are happy.
Well, there you go. It's all about you.
All about your tomato plants.
We've already gotten 1.35 inches of rain.
Is it really?
Already. And
It'd be impossible to get down there, but I want to see how high the creek is flowing through the
the low water.
low water crossing. Yeah.
That was so fun coming back through there last night.
He drove me home, so I rode to TNSS, did a lap, and then he ferried me back, and we cut through the
Corbin?
no
Well,
Hickory Creek.
oh, there's a low water crossing in Hickory Creek?
It actually, yeah, there's riprap in the creek. They built a
Oh,
they
okay,
cut a
okay,
hole
okay.
in it.
Okay.
But they've looks like they're starting back again. There was equipment out there. There was 2 new trailer offices. They had already excavated the sides of that creek crossing to, it looks like, to move heavier equipment through it. And they had put up some mounds right at the base of the crossing to prevent people from trying to drive their vehicles over, but natural erosion. But they've moved all that out. So anyway, who knows? But I want to see how much water's flowing through there, but it's impossible to get down there right now.
There's going to be a lot. Denton Creek's going to be interesting come this time tomorrow. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're, Knob Hills is done. No doubt about that. We might be getting to...
It still hadn't even opened. It wasn't open yesterday.
Oh, it still wasn't open yet?
I don't think so. Yeah, which is great.
So...
Sucks, man. It's going to be a lot of work to get that thing back going again.
Yeah, it is what it is. What is the Grapevine Lake level right now? What other bike rides have people been doing? Y'all did TNSS last night, right?
I didn't talk about riding up to Munster, did I?
No, because you haven't been on the show,
That's
Caleb.
true. So
tell us.
Yeah, so weekend of the Red River Riot, I rode from Denton. Is it Denton? Denton, Texas?
Something along those lines.
Denton. Rode up to
That's the gum.
4R Ranch, which is north of Munster, which is where the base camp Red River Riot was, and had a fantastic ride. Thank you for the route once again.
I'm glad you liked
Beautiful
it.
route.
What was your mileage from here to there?
I believe it was right around 72, 70-ish miles.
Did you have a tailwind the whole way?
I had a headwind the whole way.
Oh, did you?
And then that night, the wind shifted
Son of a bitch.
and had a south wind. Yeah. So woke up that next morning, had a great camp, slept amazing. By the way, and I texted you guys about this, that may be our new spring trip location instead of the grasslands.
Yeah?
Yeah, just because there's so much more good riding out there. It's a little bit of a longer route, but the camping facilities are cool. Like, I don't know. I like the idea of, I'm not trying to be a bougie bitch, but it was nice taking a shower because it was a little hot that day.
Yeah.
Understood.
But here's the other cool thing, and this is a big seller on me. If you pay for a camp spot, you get free firewood.
You do.
They supply you with firewood.
Wow.
Yeah, it's already cut. It's already in bundles. It's right there. Anyway, that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
So that night, I got cleaned up, and I went with Uncle Rich and Jesse into town. We went to Dairy Queen. I had a Hunger Buster. Delish.
You have a blizzard?
I didn't do a blizzard. I knew I would sleep bad if I had a blizzard. I'd wake up with some real deal stuff.
Yeah.
Going on, little gas. Woke up the next morning. Next morning, got up, packed everything on my bike, did the 30-mile Red River Riot loop, fully packed, which was fun, and then came back around, refueled, climbed Windmill Hill twice, fully loaded. I'm going to flex these muscles.
Cleaned it, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then started heading home. And 4-hour ranch?
Into the teeth of a 30-mile-an-hour headwind, yes?
So 4-hour ranch is 9.5 miles from Munster? Something like that?
Probably something like that.
It took me an hour and 10 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
And I still had 65-ish, 64 miles left or whatever. And I thought it's going to take me 10 hours. Like I was redlining my heart, pedaling downhill and getting 9 or 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So I threw the flag in the ring.
Just be glad you didn't go home on Sunday. It was even windier.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was awful. Yeah. So one of the few times I had someone I had call Kay and she came and pick me up. But I'm glad I did.
Is that when she hurt her foot kicking you in the ass for making her come pick you
Yeah,
up?
she did. She kicked me in the ass and said I was such a puss. You need to keep getting on your bike. But anyway, but that was 4R is a great place to camp. First time, I'd been out there multiple times. I'd never camped before. It was beautiful.
You can't change Sacred Spring to that because Brad and I are going to be doing.
You got something planned?
Did we get to talk to Lori any about that June stuff we were talking about last?
You guys taking over my event? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we're co-opting.
Are you lifetiming me?
Yeah.
That was Caleb, not Kevin. That was Caleb for a change, not Kevin.
Lifetime presents Sacred Spring.
Yeah, and we're going to have a qualifier event.
I've seen the golden coins. Yeah, I saw it on a Zoom call that they're handing out. They're legit physical gold coins.
All right. So do we want to shoot for that June weekend we were talking about?
I think I'm. What weekend were we talking? Because I did have something come up on my calendar. I have a private event the last weekend of June.
I think it was 7th or 8th weekend, or the weekend before Father's Day is what we were thinking.
Well, that's isn't that 24 hours in the canyon? We're gonna have a bunch of bros gone for that.
I thought that was Memorial Day weekend or whatever. Is it not? Or okay.
Yeah, I can do June 7th weekend.
Is that 24?
No.
24 hours in the canyon is usually before then.
Yeah,
I think it's the weekend after Memorial Day. I think it's the last weekend of May.
It is. It's the 30th.
Yeah.
31st. It's always the same day or on the same weekend as Unbound.
As Unbound.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So that's not a conflict for you.
No. And you asked about upcoming biking trips. Our buddy Justin Helpenstill, him and I were talking, and then May 17th weekend, I think we're going to go up to Possum Kingdom and camp and ride some of that trail. And so I'm thinking about riding. How far would it be from my house to Possum Kingdom with a decent route? Like 80 miles?
I think more than that, but I would have to look at that.
Yeah.
And decent route is relative. It would be paved the whole way.
The whole way?
Pretty close.
There's good gravel out there, though. Jacksboro area?
You're going. That Jacksboro's not going to get you. Let me look at the maps when I get home.
Okay.
Let me look at the maps when we get home.
Because I was thinking he was talking about Friday through Sunday. I was going to ride up there, camp, hang out with them, and then catch a ride back. Because I'm going to pick my mom up on that Sunday from Shreveport. She's going to come hang out for a couple of weeks. So
we'll kind of be in that neck of the woods that weekend. I might be able to figure out a way to get you home.
Well, I mean, I've already. Justin said he'll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't thinking that through.
Yeah. No, I wasn't.
I was thinking Justin was going to be riding back. Never mind.
No, he's just going to go up there and set up base camp and.
Understood.
And I was just going to bike pack up there just to get some miles and
let me play with
outside.
that. I'm pretty sure it's almost all paved, but there's some interesting stuff. But it's all paved.
Yeah, that was the only thing about that route, the 31-mile route, the Sunday route that you sent me, is there was a couple of. I get they were unavoidable.
The FM roads,
Yeah, it was either 455.
whatever it is between Forestburg and Montague.
Yeah. There was a section of that was like a mile and a half long, and the shoulder's only this wide, like from the line over, but you have the line and then you have rumble strip.
Mm-hmm.
So you're riding a skinny for like a mile and a half.
Understood.
But
But more than likely, you didn't experience more than 2 or 3 vehicles.
yeah, it wasn't that bad because it was a Monday. And the only other thing is the very end of that route. After I finished, I looked and I should have taken
I thought,
that last left and gone into Dry Valley or whatever.
yeah, I wanted to send you down some new dirt as opposed to sending you down what you'd already been on that week. But yeah, the last stretch was going to be some FM road, and it's like Brad's going to bust my balls on that one.
But there was a go around, like.
But it would just been the stuff you've already been on.
It would have gone. I guess if I was headed south, so I would have headed east, and then headed south again and linked back up with that Dewey Road, and so I would have came back in the same way I left out, except for you go up Dewey and then you go east. I would have been coming in from the west.
It would have been the same stuff we rode. The day we rode is what I meant.
But just the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That's fair. But it would have kept me off of 1749.
Understand.
Yeah.
Understand.
It's all good. There was construction going on, so it was actually nice because they were stopping vehicles and stuff, so people were on high alert. And I love it. Am I the only one when I see the big construction sign that says "Be prepared to stop"? Does that not make everybody else chuckle? I'm like, when are you driving when you're not prepared to stop? Have you ever been driving and you're like, oh shit, I wasn't ready to stop? It just cracks me up that they put a sign that says "Be prepared to stop."
I mean, it's not as funny as guardrail damage ahead, but
Yeah. That one is pretty good. I haven't seen that one in a while.
Or how about the ones that say lane closed, merge left,
Oh yeah.
and people are still flying past you?
Yeah.
zipper merge is the way to go.
I like the zipper, man.
I'm a fan of the zipper
I
merge.
yell
I
about
just
that.
I just wish everybody would do it so people don't get so tense about it. If everybody's doing it, we're all on the same page.
Right.
No.
But hey, it's the world we live in. It's very polarized.
Yeah.
Polar.
Polar.
Amy Poehler.
Sure.
I think it stopped raining, guys.
It may have
We're done. Yeah, it's done raining. The
For-
sun's
for-
out.
for
it's
a
gonna
bit.
be beautiful.
for a bit. Let's go hit North Shore.
Man, that place is a mess right now.
Dude, it's so sad too because it was absolute hero dirt last night.
It was more hero-er
Yeah.
on Sunday when I rode down there.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, there was quite a bit of sloppy spots. There was some standing water.
So that was what was weird is we rode short west. It was bone dry.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw like there was new water on the east, like areas that aren't normally an issue.
Yeah, there was. I think some of it is
That
some construction.
right there about the turnaround
Yeah.
at Lakeside.
Yeah,
Where did all that water come from? It's
draining off those.
yeah. They
those-
got to fix that.
Yeah,
That's
I think
bad.
the reason why the west typically dries well is because it's all on a hill.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much the entire thing is on a
Yeah.
downhill. Yeah, there were some pretty sloppy spots, but wasn't too bad. I noticed there's a couple new bridges. I actually saw what's the section of North Shore where
Where the tree and the rock,
no
where that root is.
That route thing.
that one route. No, it's the it's
East, west.
east side coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You're stepping on a story.
No, I'm trying to give some
Well,
context.
I will admit that I've been riding there for not as long as you guys, I know, but I've been riding there for at least 10 years, and I still don't have the loops memorized. So
Well,
I know this is on me.
The
I sound
loops
like-
are actually a new thing, but anyway.
So it's that one section where you go into a little creek crossing, is immediately hard dog leg to the left, immediate hard dog leg to that little bridge, and then another hard dog leg up over, and it's right around where those kids used to sell Gatorade. You know what I'm talking about? You almost have to like quarter crank pedal up onto that lip.
Oh yeah,
I saw a guy
there's
actually.
a route.
Saw a
There
guy.
is a route you have to
Yes,
ledge up on.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the lower part where the little bridge is,
Yeah.
it's only like 4 feet long.
Yeah, there's
I,
3 bridges like back to
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I watched a guy in front of me completely miss it and go into
But there's,
went tits first into the creek.
have you seen there's a line to the right of that bridge that does go through that creek though?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he was doing, but there was a foot and a half of water in it.
Yeah. Well, the very
Completely.
last one, right before you can go around that tree, and then you do the ledge up. And
Yeah,
do
yeah,
the
yeah.
hard right.
Yep, that's it.
There's a line to the right of that.
So when
bridge,
it's
if you will.
dry, you can completely go through that ditch.
Yeah.
I'd never noticed that
Yeah,
before.
and it's actually a pretty smooth line.
Okay.
If you swing, oops, sorry.
And does it take you automatically behind that tree? It comes out, so you don't have
pretty
to. Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
This guy, I don't know what he was doing
Yeah.
because he was on the bridge and then he was off the bridge.
Oh,
So his front tire went on it and his back tire, I think, missed or something.
He didn't make the. He
was
wasn't,
not his-
he
his
wasn't going, oh, I want that line
Yeah,
instead.
that was not his intent.
Yeah,
But he
yeah.
ended up like his bike disappeared.
Did you say sorry about your luck and keep riding?
Well, he had a friend with him, and I think he was embarrassed enough, so I didn't say anything to him. I just
People have been messed up on that very bridge. I
I've-
think that's where Sharon McNutt broke her wrist, actually.
Oh, really?
And that's before they put, you know how there's a railing on one side? Somebody put a 2x4
Oh,
along
yeah,
the
yeah.
edge,
There's a little lip around
and
it.
then there's mesh on there, so it's like non-skid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was before all that.
Okay. Yeah, that place is. That's one of the few places when I go through that trail, I focus and
Yeah.
get a little sharp because it'll bite you.
I went in the creek there one time.
Did you?
I think probably the same thing
Yeah.
he did. I was thinking front wheel. I wasn't thinking back wheel.
Yeah.
And I think I was trying to rail it.
Yeah.
And I was already
You can't
turning to the right, and my rear tire wasn't lined up
You
yet.
got to get lined up before
Yeah,
you
you
get
can't.
in there.
You
Yeah.
can't fly through there. You gotta watch what you're doing.
I just remembered Proctor and I were riding last night, and I had a wildlife sighting on the trail that I've never had before.
Okay.
Tell me if you guys have ever experienced this. I turned a corner, and there were a female and male mallard in front of me on the trail.
There were ducks on the trail.
there were-
I've never seen ducks.
And
on
I
the
go, LMR ducks. and these guys got like maybe a half a foot off the trail and just flew for
Down the trail.
down the trail. It seemed like a quarter of a mile.
Crazy.
And the whole time,
No, I've never seen that.
the whole time Proctor and I go, MR not. And I was like, OSAR, see him itty bitty wings. And the whole time these ducks are flying. And then they finally turned off the trail. And I was like, all right, we're back on. But I've had road runners run in front of me for, like a mile, it seems like. And I've seen numerous deer and bobcats and snakes and everything else. But duck was not on the bingo card.
Haven't done the duck.
I
Now,
haven't seen a duck.
last week when I was riding North Shore, the climb after the Bonnie and Clyde Bridge, I go around the left-hand turn, and there's a doe right there, right, and for me to Caleb, and she was not expecting me. I don't know how,
Yeah.
because I've been making so much noise to get there, and then she went running down the
She
trail.
didn't hear you huffing and puffing.
That's
from
what I'm
half a mile
saying.
away. She thought you were going to blow her house down.
She should have had plenty of warning.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I did notice a lot of rabbits.
Yeah.
Is multiple rabbits rabbi?
I don't think so.
No.
I think that's
No,
something
sorry.
different.
Oh, does that mean something different?
That's completely different. But yeah, it is rabbit breeding season
Yeah.
and skunk breeding season.
Oh,
too.
and I think cow breeding season. I've been seeing a lot of action out in the pastures
Yeah.
here recently.
Sure.
Guys, take that behind the barn. No one wants to see that.
There-
Like
There are a
PDA.
lot of spring calves out.
Yeah.
But I saw on my 31 miler, I saw a fox,
Nice.
which was
Gray fox or red
It
fox?
was a red fox.
Okay.
So cool.
I love foxes.
But I saw a ton of rabbits on that ride.
Yep. No doubt about that. So, what's it going to take to twist your arm to come up to Paris on Saturday?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Not a lot. I had to talk to my smoking hot wife because it sounds like my weekend's getting filled up, and I had made it a point to tell her, hey, when I get back from this next retreat, you and I are going to do some dating.
Ooh.
So
You're going to take her out for a fancy dinner?
we actually went to On Monday when I got back, we went to Dragon House in Highland Village. It's a dim sum place where
Oh yeah, I've
Snuffers
heard
used
about
to
that
be.
place. Yeah.
It was legit.
Okay.
I was pretty stoked on it.
Okay.
And
I didn't know Snuffers went out of business.
Yeah, they do Peking duck the proper way.
Okay.
I'll send you this picture.
Hey, have you been to the Indian place across the street from that?
Deli 6?
Yeah, is it good?
Not a fan.
Okay. All right, we hadn't tried it yet. So.
Here's my thing. I'm extremely black and white when it comes to buffets. If it's a buffet, I'm out. So they do a buffet type sitch.
Yeah,
and
I don't do buffets.
I'm not about it. Because when
Boy, y'all got it all wrong.
No,
buddy,
when you get food poisoning,
yeah,
that's the place you're going to get it.
Yeah, maybe.
There's two factors here. I'm a quantity versus quality guy, and when you say buffet, all I hear is recycled food.
I didn't say it was good for you. I just said it's fucking delicious.
Did you see the picture I just?
Yeah,
sent
I'm
you?
looking at these ducks. These ducks, Kevin.
That's
Is that the right way to do it? So these over here on the left, those are the aged.
yeah,
And these are the ones that have been, and so they hang them and smoke them like that.
yes, proper.
Man, I'm a hit and miss duck guy. It's got to be easy to chew and it can't be too gamey because I've had some bad duck.
Oh yeah, those will not be gamey, and those will be easy.
That's
and
what
they
Peking duck's all about.
Yeah, and they have that crispy skin.
Did they serve you the whole duck?
Well, so they have a whole and a half, and
Okay.
and in my mind, I'm thinking I don't want to do a half because what if the last time somebody ordered a half was yesterday, and I'm getting the second half.
Just
You know
order
what
a
I mean?
full one and you and the
That's
Mrs.
what-
Split one.
that's what I was gonna
Kay's a
do.
big duck fan. I should take
Yeah.
her there. She'd like that.
We should double date sometime.
We should do that. We should triple date.
Yeah.
He best not be looking at me.
You don't you don't like the duck?
I only double date and quadruple date by accident.
I hear you. I get it.
Actually, let's make a date. What's your June 7th weekend looking like?
Let me pull up the old calendar on the computer here.
We'll record an episode that weekend too.
Yeah. Where are we going again? I already forgot.
We're going to start from 4R and
Okay.
go to Lori's.
Yes.
Brad's going to cook breakfast Saturday morning, dinner Saturday night.
Okay.
We'll roll out of 4R Saturday morning. We'll get there Friday night.
Let me text Lori right now.
Yeah, I might be in for that.
And it will be a very limited crowd. We'll figure out how to put all those pieces together.
Yeah, I just marked it down.
All right.
Awesome. Should we wrap this? We time?
Let Brad hit send. He hit send.
It's good to hang out with you guys again.
It's
I missed you
fantastic.
guys.
It's like when you finish a puzzle and you have that one piece and you think you're never going to find it.
And Biscuit's that missing puzzle piece?
No.
Oh, is it me?
No, and then you drop a grape on the floor and you're like, oh, there's that puzzle piece. And it just completes the puzzle, you know?
You found me because you dropped a grape on the ground?
Yeah.
That's romantic. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
But I didn't let Biscuit eat the grape.
Oh, don't let her do that.
Yeah.
That cost us $1,200.
From a grape.
Grapes are incredibly toxic to dogs.
Was not aware.
And she ate one. And the problem with grapes is some dogs can eat them and be fine. Some dogs can eat 10 and be okay. Some can eat one and it could kill them. From what I understand, vets they don't know for sure what it is. But the biggest problem is sometimes symptoms don't show up until 48 hours later. And by that time, there's nothing you can do. So you literally have to take them in and they have to start flushing their liver out and giving them IV fluid. So we were at my parents' one weekend in Tyler, and she ate one. Luckily, my little niece, she's like 5 years old, she said, "Can Biscuit have a grape?" And I went, "No." And she said, "Well, she just ate one." I mean, immediately snatched her up, took her to the vet, the ER vet, and yeah, they have to, and she had to stay there overnight, and they had to do fluids
For
and
one grape.
for
That
one
seems
grape. But well,
crazy.
it is, but it's because
It's
of the
precautionary.
it's precautionary. It's the unknown,
Yeah.
and you literally have about a 24-hour to 36-hour window
Where it's touching.
where
the-
you
just don't know what's.
you don't know what's going to happen because she may not be showing any signs now. Yeah. So anyway, do not let your dogs.
But do you
eat
get any
grapes.
resolution out of that? Like at the end of it, do they go, well, I guess she can eat grapes?
No,
Or-
no,
or
no, no, no.
she
It's,
should never eat a grape
It's still again,
again? Oh.
just because they could get through. It's such an unknown
Mm-hmm.
that it's not worth the risk.
Speaking of vet visits, we have to take Luna to the vet today.
Oh no.
Yeah, she had a massive seizure last Wednesday.
Oh man.
I woke up to Paula screaming, like, "Oh my god! Oh my!"
Was she standing or was she floor bound when she had it?
god.
Like was she able to stand through it?
No, she was on the floor and she
Yeah.
stopped breathing
Oh, Brad.
for like long enough to where I thought she was gone,
Okay.
but her heart was still beating. And then she did this, and she fucking came back.
Yeah.
And then she slowly started to stir.
Yeah.
And then she got up and she just ran around like nothing ever happened.
Yeah,
So-
they have short memories, don't they?
Yeah.
Well,
they
what was
also-
that?
They also, like I told Paula, I said, she didn't have a clue. That's the first time that we know of she's ever had a seizure.
Mm-hmm.
And she's had one since then.
She had another.
Not near as big. Not near as big of a deal. But
They do have anti-seizure
yeah.
medications for dogs. I don't know what kind of side effects they do.
But she's almost 16 years
I
old.
know.
And she's never had one.
Yeah, well,
And she has this little cough that she's doing. And so, Paula's she wants to be a doctor online or whatever. And she's like, well, I think it might be congenitive heart failure. She may have fluid around her lungs.
at that age, she's probably got lots of things going
Yeah.
on. I mean,
And I was like, boo, her warranty's running out.
Yeah. I mean, a dog of her size, she's how old?
She's almost 16.
Yeah, anything after 13
Yeah.
is
Bonus.
icing on the cake.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
For a lot, for most dog breeds.
Yeah. You haven't seen her recently, though. She's so skinny.
Is she?
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
You need to probably supplement her.
Take her behind the woodshed.
No, don't do that. I'm saying you may need to supplement her food with some fat.
Yeah, she.
Are you?
Yeah,
Giving her?
we're intentionally trying to bulk her up.
Yeah.
But she's just, and she still eats like she just got out of prison.
I know that's the one thing about her. She is first in line at the dinner table.
Dude. And Leonard was giving her a run for her money, but we got this puzzle bowl for him, and it's got
Slows him down.
It's got like this hashtag
Yeah.
pattern in it.
Yeah.
And
If you scan it, it's like it's a QR code.
it has slowed him down like
Yeah.
4x.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to watch him eat now because it's a struggle.
It's nice to see your dogs out at 4R. Pretty babies.
We take them every chance we get, and we've got another in our pack now too.
Yeah, that's right. You got a baby, huh?
Yeah.
She? When does she get to make her public appearance?
She's got a ways to go. I mean, she's border collie giant schnauzer mix, so you
Interesting.
really can't get any two smarter dogs in that,
Yeah.
or two more stubborn dogs.
Yeah.
Jack Russells are pretty smart too.
I don't dispute that.
Yeah.
She actually right now she looks like a Jack Russell.
Oh, yeah.
She really
Oh,
does.
really?
As a puppy,
Yeah.
she does.
Yeah.
But
She have a tail?
yes,
She does have a tail.
she does
Okay.
have a tail, and she's got the big floppy ears. And we're not docking any of it. We don't do
Yeah.
don't do the dock.
No
Yeah.
docs. All right.
No doxing.
No doxing.
Anybody going to ride their bike today?
I was planning on taking the day off today. Like I said, I have to take Luna to the vet at 2, and I'm going to get oil change materials. I've got arranged to do lift time at one of my buddies. He's got a 4-post lift right down the road, and me and my younger son are going to do 3 oil changes. That's what's on my docket today.
On your agenda?
Yeah. So
All right. I'm going to probably work and do things that work people do.
What should everyone else do, Brad?
man, if you have the means and you have the weather, go ride your dang bike.